When your father is sitting here telling you, well, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman because a man's, G-spot is... Why are you telling a freaking 12-year-old this? This is a conversation that was had during quarantine.
His son made her boyfriend's son jack him off. Yeah, inappropriate misconduct of a minor or something like that is the charge. Yeah, I'm just curious as to where the son could have gotten it from, because that's predatory behavior.
Mason claims that he engaged in hot, heavy romance with Dwight Howard, but the professional athlete denies the claims. Really?
I don't gotta tell nobody where I put my wood at.
Just when we thought the rumors about Dwight Howard's messy personal life were over, his ex Royce Reed just blew the lid off everything. And listen, this is not your average baby mama drama. So Dwight just got engaged to a woman, and the reason the internet is freaking out is because this is coming on the heels of those old rumors about Dwight's DL lifestyle, including that messy lawsuit from a man named Steven Harper, who claimed Dwight tried to force him into a threesome with another man dressed as a woman. But this whole mess just took a disturbing turn after Royce Reed joined the chat and accused Dwight of throwing Diddy style free-off parties in front of their young son Brillin. But that's not all. Brillin was later accused of doing something inappropriate to one of his young male friends. And a lot of people were pointing the finger at Dwight and saying Brillin was probably copying something he saw at those parties. Meanwhile, Roy is also claiming that Dwight pulled up to one of Diddy's infamous parties rocking a dress. And when Roy started talking, Dwight allegedly panicked and hit her with a cease and desist. But spoiler alert, she didn't. Royce is still talking and going off on Dwight on social media. And this story is spiraling faster than Dwight's free throws. So let's talk about it.
But according to RadarOnline.com, the NBA legend admitted that he met his accuser via social media in May of 2021. Howard said he exchanged text messages with Harper between May of 2021 and July 2021. It's a 2-month span, several of which include explicit content, such as photographs and videos. Lord have mercy. Hold on. Let me just pause. Oh, my goodness. The former Los Angeles Lakers star said Harper came to his home on July 19, 2021. Howard admitted that they went to his room, took off their clothes, and kissed consensually. But Harper then claims Howard surprised him by introducing him to a man dressed as a woman. Harper said the man called himself Kitty.
Dwight Howard just shocked everyone by announcing he's engaged to Amy Luani, a rapper and reality TV star. The news came out of nowhere because honestly, no one even knew he was in a relationship, especially not with a woman. For years, there have been non-stop rumors about Dwight being on the down low, and things really heated up back in 2021 when a man named Steven Harper sued Dwight, accusing him of claiming Dwight tried to pressure him into a wild threesome with someone named Kitty, who was allegedly a man dressed as a woman. Now, as for Dwight's response to Steven's allegations, he admitted they did end up in his bedroom, got undressed, and shared some consensual smooches. But then things took a turn, according to Steven. Steven claimed that Dwight tried to force him to have a threesome with Kitty, but Steven wasn't into it because he thought this was just supposed to be a one-on-one thing with Dwight. But it gets wild at y'all. Steven claims he watched Kitty perform an act on Dwight while he stayed on the sidelines, not wanting to participate. But then Dwight allegedly crossed the line by touching Steven in ways that made him feel really uncomfortable. When Steven told Dwight to stop, he claims Dwight ignored him and said, "I'm going to do whatever, and you're going to like it." Steven then alleges in his lawsuit that Dwight stood up, towering over Steven, grabbed him by the thighs, forcibly removed his underwear, held him down, and performed a non-consensual act on him. The lawsuit says Mr. Harper was in fear of imminent bodily harm when he was pinned down and forced to remain in place. While defendant continued to essay him, Steven claims that Dwight pressured him to perform an act on him, and when Steven tried to leave by calling an Uber, Dwight wouldn't let him instead. Dwight allegedly had Kitty drive Steven home, and Kitty apparently threatened Steven that he better stay quiet about what happened in his lawsuit. Steven accused Dwight of saw battery, emotion distress, and holding him against his will, but Dwight denied Steven's version of events. Especially the claim that Kitty's presence was a surprise in his court documents. Dwight said Steven already knew Kitty was coming over before he even arrived at Dwight's house. Now, Dwight did admit that Kitty, who was a man dressed as a woman, joined him and stepped for some intimate activities. But he claimed it was all consensual, and he completely denied the saw accusations, asking for the lawsuit to be dismissed. But wait, it gets crazier. According to court documents from Radar Online, while all this drama was unfolding in Dwight's bedroom, at least one of his 5 kids was reportedly asleep somewhere else in the house. Dwight hasn't addressed these claims about hosting hookups with men while his kids were around, but he did fire back at fans speculating about his sexuality and called them out for being nosy and weird.
Y'all worried about who people spend their time with. Whatever I'm doing in my bedroom is my damn business. Whatever you doing in your bedroom is your damn business. That ain't for everybody. Y'all too damn nosy, worried about what I'm doing in my bed. Hell, the people who know what's going on in my bed, they know what the hell going on with my bed and what the hell I do in it. That ain't for everybody on the internet. That ain't for no blogs. That ain't for no websites. I don't gotta tell nobody where I put my wood at, since y'all wanna get to it. That ain't nobody business where I put my at. Y'all just weird. If you wanna know what people doing in their bedroom and who they messing with and sleeping with, you are weird. You're the weird one. Oh shoot, y'all heard about that? Dwight, they said Dwight was in a text messaging a guy. Nigga, who cares? Who cares who I was text messaging? You just mad because I want text messaging yo ugly ass.
Now, Dwight does have a point about folks being way too nosy about other people's personal lives. If everything happening is consensual between adults, it really shouldn't be anyone else's concern. But that didn't stop some industry insiders from chiming in. Even Mace has something to say, hinting that Dwight might be trying to play mind games by brushing it off and claiming his private life is nobody's business.
Those are the lies that are going on in society. We tell people it don't matter, but behind your back, it matters. And that's what we gotta first start off by saying. Like, you hear stats saying this, because what people do in their bedroom, that's between them. Not necessarily true, but I understand. You get what I'm saying? Because you telling them it don't matter, but then it does matter. And anybody watching this knows it does matter. Even to people that participate, it matters. Because people will say, oh, it don't matter. And as soon as they find out, they're outing them, so it matters. Yeah. You know, and when it comes down to making money off the story, it matters. When it comes down to who dating you is gonna matter. When it comes down to look at Cam, but it's good to camera on Cam. When it comes down to if you're gonna be in the locker room with them, it matters. Because there's about 30 teams that did not sign Dwight Howard because it matters. So let's dispel that. That's the first thing we gotta dispel. The second thing is that is consensual. It's never consensual if you this is, and I don't be meaning to laugh. Sometimes I make myself laugh, but it's not funny. But it is funny. Stupid, man. Yo, he said it's consensual. So just think, you're somewhere, you're with somebody, and somebody walk out of the side door with a leprechaun outfit on. It's not longer consensual. It's not consensual. It's not consensual. Y'all want me to keep going? Cause This makes sense. It makes sense, but people be lying, and folks can't get help if y'all lie. So that's not consensual. Consensual is agreeing beforehand.
But fast forward to August 2024, and Dwight managed to get Steven's lawsuit dismissed with prejudice. Just when it seemed like Dwight had managed to bury all the drama, things took a wild and disturbing turn. His baby mama Royce Reed came forward with some jaw-dropping claims about him hosting Diddy-style freak-off parties while their young son Brylin was in the house. Roy spilled all the tea during an interview on BLTV and said that during the co-lockdown, when the rest of us were stuck at home, barely seeing family, Dwight was throwing wild parties with every pronoun in the mix.
There were a lot of parties, and we're supposed to be on quarantine. So that was an issue in itself, because who are these people? Why are they here? You know, have they been tested? You're saying the world is ending, but yet you're inviting the world over. And it was all types of people. Every pronoun was there.
At the time, Royce was staying in the guest house, and she recalled waking up from a nap one day to find the main house packed with people doing some seriously nasty things.
Felt like I was in an episode of something, because it's people throwing up over the balcony. Like, you got others cursing each other out, calling each other bitches, and then I'm sitting here, first thing after seeing this is, where's my child?
So according to Roy, she completely lost it when she saw a table that appeared to have substance paraphernalia and peanut butter on it. I said peanut butter. When she asked Dwight where their son was, he allegedly brushed it off like it was no big deal.
I walk in the house, I see him even before I walk in the house. What's wrong? Where's Braylon? I don't know, he's somewhere. Seriously? So I walk in the house, and that's when I see all the paraphernalia on the table, some with peanut butter, and I lose it. And then there's a girl who just peed in a seat. And then, like, I don't even know if Kitty was there. I might have met Kitty. I don't know. I met a lot while I was there.
Boyce eventually found Brylin, who told her he had gone downstairs to grab a snack and didn't understand why his dad was acting so mean.
It's like, yeah. And I'm like, what's wrong? Nothing. And I'm like, what's wrong? Nothing. And I had to keep asking him. And then he finally told me that he went downstairs to get something to eat. He wanted a snack. And I remember grabbing him and being like, did you take anything off that table? And he swore no. But I asked him so many times because I needed it to be reiterated, like so many times to me. And he just swore no. And then he asked what it was. And then he was like, he wanted some peanut butter. And then he asked why his dad was being so mean.
But it didn't stop there. Roy said the party was so out of control that one of Dwight's friends even threatened to up the whole house. And that's when she realized it was time to grab her son and get out of there.
And then his friend at that moment, Callie, I remember him like going off on him. And then I even remember the next day him threatening the entire house because of some gay shit. I didn't know what that was. But I knew I needed to get up out of there, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here because this is child endangerment.
According to Roy, Dwight tried to intimidate her and stop her from leaving, but she knew she had to protect her son and leave the chaos behind.
Into this big, huge argument, and he was threatening me. His face had gotten like, I could tell he was on something, but I knew I needed to leave. And, you know, one of his, the guys that used to work for him, I think he was his trainer. He was actually there. He was a third party. And he watched it. And he was even trying to get him to calm down. But that's when I knew I had to pack my and we got to get out of this house because it's getting really dangerous and reckless. And we left. 3:30.
And as if all that wasn't bad enough, things took another dark turn later Reports surfaced claiming Braylon was involved in inappropriate behavior with another boy, which led to Royce facing child neglect charges by March 2022. The Shade Room uncovered court documents showing Braylon had a troubling history of incidents, including one where he allegedly forced Roy's boyfriend's son into something inappropriate while they were at her home. The documents revealed that investigators talked to Braylon and he reportedly told them that anger triggers him into acting out. Sex authorities eventually ordered that Braylon could not have any contact with kids who were 2 or more years younger than him. And according to the court report, that includes the son of Roy's boyfriend who was involved in the incident. As for Roy, she spoke out about the situation in that interview with DJ Vlad and revealed that she actually found out what was happening with Braylon 2 years earlier. She said that she was the one who contacted a therapist, who then reported the issue to the authorities.
Okay, so in 2022, there was a situation where you were arrested and charged with child neglect. So what exactly happened?
So I actually found out some information that had happened about 2 years prior, and I called the therapist and I reported it. Because therapists are mandated reporters, it turned into me getting charged with child neglect. But I am the one who made the phone call. I am the one who essentially said what happened.
What happened? But it gets worse. Royce claims she's been reporting inappropriate behavior from Braylon since he was really young. But she claims that a judge who some people think might be on Dwight's payroll threatened to take Braylon away from her if she kept bringing it up.
I've reported several situations. I've been reporting that inappropriate things are happening with my son since Braylon was a baby. And I noticed it very quickly. As a mom, I'm very involved. I notice everything. And it started with him sitting in my doorway hitting himself. And then he started touching himself funny. Ended up going to court. And I had a video of Braylon covering his face because he was saying how people were blowing smoke in his face, how daddy's friends look like zombies at the bottom of the stairs. Daddy acts weird. And like I said, I went to court and I was threatened by Judge Shea if I ever made any type of accusation like that again, that he would take Braylon from me and I would lose custody. My mom was in court with me that day. I got up, I cursed that judge out. I cussed out Mayanne Downs, which was his attorney, and I walked out that courtroom. He said he was going to hold me in contempt.
So after the situation with Braylon made headlines, fans started speculating that Braylon's behavior could be linked to growing up under Dwight's roof and possibly seeing some of the crazy things that went down with Dwight's party guests. But Roy still isn't done after Dwight recently announced his engagement. She took to social media and dropped even more bombshells, making more wild accusations about the mistreatment she and her son Braylon allegedly suffered during her relationship with Dwight. And y'all, this is actually disturbing.
When your own father calls you gay at 11 years old because you haven't touched anything or done anything, that's crazy. When your father is sitting here telling you, well, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman because a man's, G-spot is in his ass. Why are you telling a freaking 12-year-old this? This is a conversation that was had during quarantine. So let's get into that even. Because now at this point,
Don't get. And while Dwight has now reportedly hit Royce with the cease and desist, she's doubled down on her allegations and saying she won't let Dwight silence her. Royce actually shared the alleged cease and desist letter on TikTok and wrote in the caption, "Well, we knew this was coming. I guess it's too many people on my side now. And just crawling up that leg bite by bite. What more do you want from me? I guess you're going to send the whole world a send assist." How coward. As for fans, seems like they're siding with Royce on this one.